Welcome to the Conscious Creative Podcast, your weekly dose of soul-to-soul conversation that will have you saying peace out to your 9 to 5 to explore in your sacred calling. The topics center around conscious business and interviews with the folks who started them. We'll be exploring the art of being human and what it takes to live your life fully expressed and financially free. I'm Christina Gomes, and I went from high-paying job as a psychotherapist to leaving it all behind for my desire to travel the world playing my original music, to becoming the CEO and soulpreneur founder of freeyourcreativity.org, where I help visionary leaders create the businesses of their wildest dreams. If you have a sacred calling, stick around. My prayer is that you become the permission slip for the collective as you hear the soul-inspiring stories that call you forth into creative action. Let's get to the soul. Hello, wild, wealthy, and well-known soulpreneurs. I'm about to bring you Emanuela. Hey, Emanuela. How you doing?
Good. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to be here. How are you?
Oh, I'm great as well. I'm like, when I see your face, I'm like, all these beautiful memories are coming back. I have this basket that you gave me on my birthday years ago, and I'm just gonna bring it over here because it's right here.
And you are in your new house. Wow, I can see the fireplace. Oh yes, I remember.
I just wanted you to know, like, I remember, and I think of you. It's a little bird's nest.
This is so cute. Oh, so happy.
So are you in Tulum?
I'm still in Tulum. Yeah. This place keeps calling me back. So it's 1 year that I'm basically here. I can't believe it, but yes.
Amazing. So for context for everyone watching, I met Emanuela a few years ago here on lovely Lake Atitlan. She was doing her amazing own work on her life and had been through so many things and was starting the process of like packaging up her gifts and offering something. And you even went through an offering of mine in 2021. And now you are rocking your content, got a gorgeous Instagram account. But more importantly, I know it's fun. I love a gorgeous Instagram account. But more importantly, is you are the creator of an amazing offering. And I wanted to share your story with the people today by first asking you, let you introduce yourself and what you do, but also asking like how this came about. Like, how did you know that this work was your sacred calling?
Yes. Okay. So hi, everyone. First of all, as Christina said already, my name is Emanuela. I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. And about how all this came out, first of all, because we're also talking about leaving your 9 to 5 job and creating the life of your dreams and the business of your dreams. The first ring bell I had was when I signed my first work contract and I saw that I had 25 days of holiday a year. And I remember feeling this cramp in my stomach and reflecting and thinking is this going to be my life or the rest of my life until I'm retired? And it didn't take that long for me to actually quit that job. But at that time, I had savings, so I started traveling the world, different experiences, different plant medicine found me. And in this time, I got very close to coaching, to yoga, to a different type of energy healing. And I started seeing how all this was helping me and completely changing my life. And then I started feeling more and more this call of sharing this with the world, because I was like, okay, if this helped me so much and I realized I can change my life and heal myself, why don't I share this with the world? And something very impactful actually happened just recently that really pushed me to really put myself out there, creating a beautiful Instagram, doing live, sharing my voice. Because since I arrived in Tulum, I don't know if any of you have ever been in Tulum, but it's such an energetically intense place. For me, even more than the lake, in terms of how it brings everything up, everything. And I started learning with a teacher that turned out to be a very manipulative person, and I could see the red flags, but I was ignoring them. And I ended up then in a relationship with a guy, and I could see how his mind was sabotaging everything. And so that really gave me this like even deeper understanding of how the mind can create the most beautiful, amazing life and business and relationship, or the opposite. And every time we limit ourselves, it's because we somehow subconsciously don't believe we're worth enough or for to receive that money, to have that relationship, to just shine and share our message. And so that was really like the haha moment that really made me feel, okay, you need to go all in that, because you have the knowledge, you have the background, and you have the personal experience. And now it's time to share this with the world. So that's also what gave me this kick in the last few months, like time to do it.
I love that so much because what I'm unlocking for people over these it's 6 days now of the Sacred Calling Showcase is that things sometimes take time.
Yeah.
And I wrote a post. I went back and I looked like at the moment that I decided to become a coach and the moment that I actually was and had my first client was actually a long moment. And, I'm speaking a lot of now in my content around being on an income plateau and like, starting but wanting to expand. And I realized, wow, there's this place that is so foundational and so like this beautiful, magical timeline that went from like when we have the idea and the spark and the inspiration to when we decide to actually take action and create something that really is impactful for people. So thank you for sharing and all of our speakers have been sharing about that as well of like hey, like here we go. So before you even had that spark, oh yeah, you shared you were in this job with 25 days holiday. So it's like it's what I want to share with people is like, our desires to have a more meaningful, rich life where we have space is part of it too. So it's like we want to help people. We want to show the world like what is possible. We want to show people in our audience like what is really possible for them. And we also want to have space and time and flourish. When those two things combine, that's when like this tree starts to flourish. Oh, so do you want to speak a little bit about like what were some of the thoughts since you're like this mindset into the mindset? Because so am I. What were some of the thoughts that you were thinking before you actually uh, dove all in? Like, what were some of the things that were holding you back from starting?
I noticed I had a lot of fear and blockages around sharing my voice and my message. Something big for me was always that I thought I wasn't qualified enough, and I knew I was, but somehow I felt no, maybe I should do another course, maybe I should learn something more, maybe I should read another book. So that was really holding me back. And then I had this deep fear of it's not possible for me. People can make a lot of money, they can really thrive with their business, but it's not possible for me. And then I traced back this fear to it was very interesting because I wanted to leave Tulum for like the 10th time. And somehow I got everything booked to go to Bali. And I chose to go stop at my mom's place for a week after 3 years not going back. And actually, it was such a healing experience for me because I was there and I saw my family, like what they think, what they say. And I was like, oh, well, no wonder I have all these limiting beliefs around money and how I can make money by sharing my voice, because these people believe that the only way to survive is like by bending your back and just doing an office job, and everything else is just daydreaming. So even though I didn't consciously believe this, it was still in my subconscious. So definitely that too. And then I still had a bit of fear of, for me, as for you and everyone that is really sharing this work from like our soul, like our deeper self, I felt so vulnerable in sharing my message. And it was like, oh, what if people don't like what I share? And what if they judge me? And then, I started just like literally stopping caring about that. I was like, I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm just gonna be myself. But that was a big one too. So yeah, I would say the feeling I wasn't good enough, that I needed always more certification, that this wasn't accessible for me, and like feeling very vulnerable in sharing my message.
And
Yeah.
now I can see like how vulnerable of you to share that. And it's so, so helpful because it helps us to connect to like, actually, this is possible because we have all had some variation of those kinds of thoughts. And when people see me like out here sharing, like sometimes 3 times a day, they're like missing that I also had those thoughts.
Yeah.
And that moment that you go, wow, I cannot give an F about this anymore. That is the moment that we start actually being the leader. Because when we want to guide somebody through their thought patterns, and it's so lovely that they know that we've been there also. That's what makes you and I qualified, is you going like, no, I get it. Like I thought that way. And
Exactly.
here's how I shifted to thinking. And it sounds like you did some ancestral healing, like going, and what we've been talking about lately too is like most of us are the cycle breakers, where we go and we see our family and we love them for who they are. Or, I am not opposed if people don't love their families either. Like there's some types of families where people really have to set boundaries and remove themselves. All is accepted in my world. But, I love my parents for who they are. And I knew that I was going to choose something different. And yeah, for generations in the future, but not even for me, for the little girl that listened to those thoughts and were fed that, and then awoken to, there's something else. There's a better way to think. And it's like, better, yeah, sure, but it feels better in my body to think this way. Amazing. So what kind of work do you do like to shift? What has been the key to shifting these thoughts besides like the realization of like, shit, I don't want to pass this down, pass this around?
Totally. Yeah, totally. Well, yes, this is exactly why I've created this 4 months course that is starting on the 9th of February, because I want to guide people through all the techniques that I actually been learning and using for myself. And I really believe like the way I work for myself, which is also what I want to share. It's always, I really always believe in the foundation, like understanding why this happens. So it's like I started learning a lot about the nervous system, and I see the mind as this software that has a certain program, and now we need to reprogram it. So how do we do that? I started first of all observing, combining the feelings with how my body feels. And I feel, let's say, before I need to go on a live or something like that, I feel pain in my stomach, and I was like, and I take it like really as a habit to work on my desk and then literally go into my bedroom every time I feel emotion coming up, to just lay down, take deep breath, connect to the emotion that is coming up, and then asking the why and trying to see where that comes from. I combine a bit of like the emotion code. I don't know if you have ever heard of this technique, but it's based on the idea that emotions are stuck somewhere in the body, and they're energy, so they are preventing us from actually calling in energies that are more aligned for us. So shifting that from the body through like some somatic work, and then also subconscious reprogramming. I use a lot of theta waves or that I use for my meditation, and I record meditation for myself, which is what we're gonna do in a container in my course, and accessing that belief in the brain that is stuck there, and then changing it. So it's also a work of repetition. If I believed I wasn't good enough or to share my message, now I create a new positive sentence like I am fully aligned with my message and I'm here to share it. And I keep repeating it to myself. I even put like little post notes all around my apartment, because it's really a work of reprogramming. So it's like finding what is the belief that is holding you back through asking questions, observing, like being very observant of our own reality and how we feel, how we interact. And then recognizing that's the belief. How can I change that? What's the opposite of that? And keep repeating it. And also something that I really learned is, there is also a lot of this thing in the spiritual community that is like things needs to feel good. But the problem, that's like a big, big limitation, because if you only look for what feels good, you're going to live like just 5% of what your full life expression is. Because most of the things that are about expansion don't actually feel good at first. Like in these days, so much is opening up for me, working online, working offline, and meeting. Also, I had this belief that business and love cannot coexist together. So right now I'm in this phase of my life that my business is going really well. I'm getting to know someone that seems like very loving and caring, and I'm literally paralyzed. Like this morning, I didn't even want to get out of bed because it does not feel good. Like my whole body is tense because my nervous system is not wired for that. So I really learned that every time it does not feel good, but it's like the version of myself that I want to become, I just go through it. I just like let all the pain through, breathe, try to be mindful, meditate, but just go through the discomfort. That's super important. And it's such a limiting belief not to do that.
Hey there, visionary leader. If you're resonating with this message, I'd like to invite you into your next level life and business. Enrollment has begun for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. This is my signature group container to help you design an offer so delicious, so juicy, so based on your soul gifts that you are thrilled to invite your soulmate clients inside of it. I'm going to teach you how to promote this offer with a ton of heart and to sell out this offer with ease to meet your revenue goals. I would love to have you inside if you are a visionary leader who knows that they are great at what they do. You'd like to collapse the timeline on how long it takes to reach consistent income with an offer that you truly love. Go to the link in the show notes to apply for the Conscious Creative Business Immersion. I will be sitting with your application individually, and I will send an email to let you know if you've been accepted in a few days after application. Thank you for trusting me with your vision, and I can't wait to see what we co-create. Thank you so much for doing this work and for setting up your offering to really be real. Because I hear you, and so many people come to me of like, wow, like I just want everything to be easy. And I'm like, it will be.
Yeah,
it can be on the other side of whatever is making it hard.
Yeah.
And this belief work, this is what we're unlocking. And this is why in my program as well, we do not ignore beliefs because it is the foundation of everything. Because if we try to pile like sales strategy on top of a belief that money is bad, or a belief that I'm no good at business, or belief that if I sell my offer, I'm pushy, then we just try to put skill into like that belief, it's not going to work. So we must start with who we are being.
Yeah.
I love that. Something else that stood out was like, right, like your vulnerability is everything. You're going to be so magnetic. Like I know so many people are listening going like, wow, yes. Oh, like we are feminine creatures. Like we are feminine creatures. And I so like enthralled to see how you've structured this so beautifully for people who may also be feminine creatures, like highly intuitive, highly feminine, highly emotional. All this is beautiful. And you have a process so that we can just be like, we can actually feel, actually be feminine, actually like allow. But you have that container. This is what I love about weaving in the direction, the purpose, the masculine aspects of life with our feminine being. And all beings, men and women, have these components and aspects. And when you balance them, I just see you so balanced, like in your pink and your beauty, and then balancing it with like, here we go, like here I'm going to lead you. This is the aspect.
Exactly. This is exactly 100% what I believe, because it's like I see it also with how people do business, but not just business, how they go about life. There are people that are it's only about the energetic, and people that is only about the strategy. But it's both, and it's the same for each and every area of our life. And so I really believe like creating the safety, the structure, even the knowledge. That's why at first I always start with like how the brain works and how life works, and then going into the energetic, because we need both. And if we don't have both, we're just unbalanced somehow. And I learned that myself, because in these years of my childhood and my teenagers here, I was really in my masculine, like completely detached from emotions, and I'm on Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, so it's just like on a full moon in Cancer.
Feeling.
But then I started doing more of a spiritual journey and becoming just emotions and energy and go with the flow. But that also doesn't really accomplish anything. And it's just like the balance of that both, and yeah, I really, really believe in that. And it's what's helping me. And also it's what creates the safety, because now I know, like, I have this mindset that is maybe more masculine, like, I don't care what people think, whatever. But I know I do it from like a hard, soft place, or like, that's my way to know that I'm worthy. I can share my message as everyone else is doing, and I have this side of me protecting my emotions, my inner world. So yeah.
Yes, because and that's so like Cancer-esque too. Cancer is such a beautiful archetype, and they have this shell, but they're soft and gooey. They have this shell to protect because somebody needs to protect us, but we get to, and that part of us that is like, no, somebody else's opinion doesn't matter when we know who we are, we know what we're meant for, and we know that what we have to offer can really, really help ourselves to live a more spacious life. Because when you have an offering that's doing well in the world and is helping people, then you have more space for those spiritual practices. What I love about helping soul-led leaders, you do the work. Without you doing that work, like you did the work this morning, like you're doing the work. That's why you are magnetic to your people, because they sense that this isn't this is embodied knowledge. You're like, I've been doing this. This is my process. It really, truly works.
I do it every day. Absolutely. And something else I feel like sharing that was for me like another haha moment. I love reading, researching, and feel like asking philosophical questions to myself. And one is like the purpose of life. And one day I was like, wait a minute, just like life is the purpose, like the creation of the most wonderful life I have here, because we are creator. So that day I sat down and I was like, okay, what do I want? I did this exercise of looking at myself like as like an old lady about to like pass to another realm, and looking back and feeling like, okay, what did I create in my life? And I was like, okay, I want to have a beautiful house in nature and a baby and a super thriving business and writing a book and all this stuff. And this is the purpose of my life, like really creating these on earth. And so that really gave me this motivation of having this vision and working through all the blockages and limitation and limiting beliefs that don't allow me to get there. So that was for me a big, big moment.
Oh, I recommend anyone do that. Anybody do that. That is so lovely. Because when I speak to visionary leaders, they come and they're like, this is what I want to create. I just spoke with someone that's like, I want to buy land by this year. And like, exactly, when we set stretch goals, when we set goals that feel impossible, it's not to like shame ourselves if we don't reach them, because we have a long life to live, and sometimes divine timeline knows better than our little kind of ego that's like, I want it now.
Oh, I feel your adaptation.
I do want it now. And it's like, we have a long life to live. We are going to write our books. We are going to have our babies. We are going to do this. And how to shorten the timeline is to actually set that goal, watching what comes up, because then that work is what you do with your people, what I do with my people, of like, oh, this is actually blocking me. This is actually blocking me. Okay, let's see a way forward. How do we actually create a different belief system, become the person who's available energetically to hold all of that?
Absolutely. Yes. And then the universe is going to start like, I wouldn't even say testing us, just like putting these things along our way, and like, oh, you said you wanted it, are you ready? Or like, and I see this happening so much all the time. And that's when I have like all my fears and blockages, like, but I need to go through that because I said I wanted it. So, and then it's fine how the mind works. It's like, I said I wanted it, but I think I actually don't really want that, And I did this with my business for like the past year, I wanted to grow my business, but then all these fear were coming up. It's like, actually, I was always finding reasons why I didn't really want that. And it's just the mind playing tricks and making us in our comfort zone and not making us grow. And some people maybe are fine with that, but I feel everyone that is following you and on this channel actually wants something more. So yeah, we need to go through this discomfort and beliefs.
Thank you so much for sharing. Right. This is such an amazing conversation and is going to help so many people. And I wanted to ask, like, what would you say to somebody who was on the verge of like quitting their 9 to 5 or like, I like a good plan. Well, both. I want to be honest with people. Like, I actually can handle risk a little bit more than other people. My nervous system is just like, I've taken a lot of risk. I've been in all sorts of countries with no money, and I see how the universe always takes care of me. So I've developed this trust, and I see how I take care of me. I see how like I have skills of like speaking and like I could work anywhere, like I really could. It's just about where I want to put my time and energy. And I don't want to work for someone else. And when I decided that, the universe gave me a bunch of challenges to see if I really wanted that. But like what I wanted to ask you is, yeah, what would you say to somebody who was thinking about it? Like, do they need a plan? Can they just quit their 9 to 5 right now? What has been what has been your kind of method around that?
Yeah. As you said, like people are different. Me too. I can like really, because of my life experience, I learned that the universe always has our back. But obviously, there are people that maybe have not experienced that yet, like this level of trust. And I would say, I always start by saying, like, we are the creator. We are literally creating everything all the time. So you have created your 9 to 5 job, and now you're creating you leaving your 9 to 5 job and starting something new. How do you want to go about it? And I always say, like, trust, but first trust in yourself. Yes, you can trust in the universe, but trust in yourself that you can do it. And yes, make a plan. I think the plan, it's really important. Like, seeing this is something more maybe that I would do in a one-to-one, where it's like, okay, what is your situation now? Do you have savings? What are you gonna do with your savings? Do you have a business idea? Are you gonna go and just explore your life? So have a vision of what is it that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be, some people don't have yet the full life vision. I want to have this business, I want to have the land on this, but they know what they're looking for themselves. Maybe they're looking for purpose. So how are you going to do that? So definitely like trust and a vision, because the thing is, like, I really realize if we don't have a vision of what we want, we just get lost. It's just so we go all the possible ways, because in particular now we live in a time that we have almost unlimited possibilities. Like, you can fly to Guatemala, Bali, Tulum, but like, where do you want to go? And that's it, and it's our inner vision that guides us. So if someone is living the 9 to 5 job, but they are like soul searching, okay, how are you going to do that? Where are you going to go? And instead, someone is ready to create a business, okay, work with a business coach, someone that has done that already and can guide you. It's so important to have support and make a plan. So definitely plan and trust, but with the fundamental awareness that we are creating it all the time. Even something that really empowered me was like this full responsibility of even like the so-called bad things that I was seeing. I also ended up almost with no money when the crypto crashed, because I was relying so much on that. I was like, yes, but it's my responsibility, because I wasn't taking seriously enough my business, and I was just spending money like crazy. So it's just really always going back to the path that it's we are responsible, and because of that we can make a plan, we can create this plan, and trust that we have the support within ourselves, from the universe, from opportunities that are going to present themselves.
I love what you said too, because I love spending my money like crazy too. And what I've decided to spend my money on is support, because
Exactly.
even at every level there are limiting beliefs. At
Yeah.
every level, there are subconscious things that we actually get to bring to the surface. And so people see me and they're like, oh, multiple six-figure business. And I lived in a van just 5 years ago. Like really wanting to create from a purposeful place. And I had to do the work like anyone else. But I always had someone who got that by my side somehow, someone that could give these nuggets of wisdom as well. Is now it's like now doubts come up, they're just different kind of doubts, they're just at a different frequency. So I want to remind people that doubts come up, and so if you're doubting that you can live this vision, if you're having trouble with trust, that's why we're here. It's like I do trust, and that little wiggly voice of doubt comes up sometimes, and now I have a process, or I have like three coaches. And it's like money is what I've been saying about money recently is like, what is the point of money if our souls are not satisfied?
Yeah.
What is the point of saving money in a bank account and watching it rise if our souls are dissatisfied? If your soul is satisfied with that, and the money has you're saving for land, cool. But like, if you are investing in your business or investing in your personal growth, which will lead to more opportunities and business growth, then this is a great place to spend your money rather than like a second home, a second car. Like people, I'm coaching someone who's like, yeah, she just got a second home. And she's like budgeting money for her self-development. And I'm like, that's a problem right there.
Absolutely. But also something, when I said I was spending money like crazy, because as everything, we can use something like money in the most amazing way, investing in a coach or in ways that are destructive. And I noticed that I was using money not to, in a way that was, I don't know, let's say I was renting an Airbnb. I didn't like it. I was like, okay, let's rent another one. Let's rent another one. But like in a way of escaping, and it was, and obviously it was costing me money, but it was just like, it wasn't about the money. It was the energy behind. Like I was treating my money in a way that that was destructive. And so I wasn't able to hold money. That was like a big thing, and then also I was just, not spending them in an aligned way, because then this money that I was spending for, I don't know, changing this apartment or changing that apartment or buying super expensive decoration that in that moment I really did not need. I was maybe just stressed and going out and like just buying a bunch of stuff, which I could use that energy for something much better, like investing in a coach or, I don't know, going to the spa every day, or like ways that come from a very conscious place instead of like a subconscious response of let's just spend money because I cannot hold them, or let's just use money as a way of escaping and finding this like quick dopamine rush, And so it's always, that's why I feel it's so important to, and I'll talk about that in my container. It's like becoming your own therapist. Like you need support, yes, but you also need to help the person supporting you and help yourself by understanding, why am I doing this? Like, why do I have this money in my bank account and somehow I cannot invest in a coach, but I can buy a bunch of useless items and furniture that I probably gonna sell in a month, So that's.
I want to deepen this. I've been talking to a lot of people that have scarcity consciousness, where like they're afraid to spend, they hoard, or they like have savings, but they won't spend it on themselves. And I love this opposite view, because I'm a little more like you, of like, oh, I'm abundant. I have abundant. And it looks so abundant from the outside looking in, but you've discovered for yourself the energy behind it, and what and money is actually energy, especially when the way that we use it now, where it's just like transferring between accounts. Like it's much more like lightning, of like it's energy. It's like transferring between accounts, and then all of a sudden there's a number in your bank account. It's like, ooh, and then some people start to feel differently about what's in our bank account. And there's a notion called upper limiting, of like when we have too much money for our nervous systems to feel relaxed, we start to do what you're talking about, of like, ooh, buy that, ooh, buy that. And I did that for many, many years, because honeys, I'm new rich. Like I grew up poor. Like I worked for everything I had. So like new rich, like, and then it's like, and then, oh, I'm not rich. because that was what my nervous system was used to, push pull up and down. And that's just something that I get to bring to my coach. I know that that's a pattern of mine. And we get to actually now work together on ways to hold money, to hold clients, to re-enroll clients, because re-enrolling clients is the same energy as holding money. So holding clients over a long period of time is now what I'm teaching to my clients, because I've embodied that as well. I've embodied being able to hold money and invest it in things that appreciate over time, like my own self-development. So thank you
Or
for sharing that.
yeah, for sure. It's the same for me. It's been like something I've noticed about myself, about what I was doing, my patterns. And I bring it, as you said, no, it's just being real, like bringing it all on the table. And it's like, okay, I worked through that. So I know someone out there might be working through the same, either scarcity or like not being able to hold money. And anyways, many of us, it's so many things. It's like it applies to money, but it applies to anything. There's nothing bad in eating a slice of cake, but if I'm eating the slice of cake because I want to hide my emotion, and like it has a completely different meaning. So I feel it's so important. We are human, and there's always space for, like not even mistakes, just like being gentle with ourselves. But if we want to be, I really believe, like I'm really trying to embody this like warrior queen energy, and I'm like, yes, I want to be that. So I want to be aligned, but first of all, it starts with myself. I want to know that I'm doing this, I'm spending my money because of something that it's aligned, that I really want, that it's gonna help me grow. And I apply that to every area of my life. So it's so important to share it in our container and like with our clients too.
I love that. I love what you said about the warrior queen archetype, because I am actually working with a lot of archetypes. This is what I'm personally doing when I say the Cancer full moon. I'm seeing the archetype, the symbol of the Cancer, and all of the energy and the beautiful sensitivities and the watery flow of a Cancer, and also like the protection mechanism and the divine mother. These are all archetypes. And we get to transform our lives by reclaiming archetypes that actually already live within us and in our subconscious. So that warrior queen archetype, I will walk that path with you for sure. I see it radiating from you. And it's like, for anyone else out there that feels like, oh, I'm not a queen yet, or I'm still in my princess, or like
Yeah.
I'm not a warrior, like I'm more sensitive. It's like these archetypes, these energies exist within us, and we get to activate them by working with somebody who holds those codes. So like warrior queen, like you're hearing it, like come to one of us if that feels royal to you. Like amazing.
No, but for sure. And also, like, I also find myself sometimes I have days that I'm like, okay, so where is my warrior archetype? I just want to be in bed because I'm still human, and sometimes I have these days too, but it's just like now I know the process. Like, as you said, now I have my process to work through my doubts and my fears, because something that I feel it's important to share is just like, we are slowly becoming, I say superhuman. For me, superhuman means like really like being completely aware of myself and able to work through things. But we're all on this journey. It's just like we have developed techniques and ways to work through all this stuff. And then there's going to be the next thing coming up that we need to work through. And it's just like the human journey, we're still here. We're here to experience this all. And I guess it's like the ultimate, creating, because we are creator, like creating the life we want is like, I really feel this is the purpose. So by working with someone that is doing that and has found ways and techniques to create the business, like six-figure business, a multiple six-figure business, working through your subconscious and all this, like you are just allowing yourself to make the path easier. Because as you said, like you said, I remember you said you didn't at first in your journey, you started on your own, and then when you found support, everything became easier. And I can tell the same when I start working with you. And now it's the same for myself. All the work I've done in my subconscious, I've only done it on my own. And then I found a coach, and everything started becoming more easy. Like the path, it's kind of like already, it's there, you just have someone supporting you. So it's super important to be in this container, in these energies.
I love that, because it's noticing, like, even if we have the tools, sometimes we don't have the accountability, and that's
Yeah.
because we're not invested. This
Exactly.
happens all the time. I've always wanted to be a little bit more magical and like work with the energies of like Venus and all of these spiritual energies. Like I've wanted to. That's been on my list of things to do. Like I built a multiple six-figure business and now I want to like, I don't know, pray to Venus.
Yeah.
And I could do that on my own. I know how to pray. And I just wasn't. Joined a program, went through it with somebody, have my Venus altar, building those habits of prayer. Because not only because the guide showed me the tools, yes, but because now I'm invested in myself. Now there's like an activation, speaking back of money, but there's an activation of like, here, money is a symbol of what we value. And so if I mean, I do value nice things too. Like, I do value nice things. Like these things really do support me, and especially the sound healing tool, it does support me. And it's like I also value nice things, which is myself. So it's like, oh, so it's like and of course, working with people that you resonate with. And so I know that there's so many people out there that are resonating with you and your vibe and your energy, like who you, just the way that you move. This is something that I teach in my program of like, yeah, like they say, just go out and share your message and be yourself. And that is part of it, because if people have the opportunity to see you, feel you, like you're going to have your soul aligned clients and I'm going to have my soul aligned clients that have this unspeakable, or like we're not really sure what's going on, but they're like, oh yeah, like Emanuela's like my dream client. And maybe because you're a fiery Italian, it may be because they can see that beautiful crystal. And we want to give people that opportunity. And so for you being here, you're giving people an opportunity to meet their next level guide if they so choose. So why don't you tell people about what you have going on and how they can contact you if they're feeling that resonance with you?
Yes. So right now, thank you for this opportunity. First of all, right now, what I'm gonna start is this rewriting you 4 months group container, starting on the 9th of February, and it's gonna be one live a week, and it's like a whole journey to completely transform your life from the inside out. So in this journey, like you're really gonna learn how your brain works and reality works and how we can co-create. But then the deep dive, it's all about rewriting the subconscious and creating the life of your dreams. So it's gonna be a super powerful experience, and because it's gonna be live, the group energy and me guiding the live is just gonna create this beautiful energy. And we're gonna have a lot of techniques that you learn also to take home and keep doing it even after the course is over, to really learn how to access the subconscious, rewrite patterns, be observant. And it completely, if obviously it's like people need to take responsibility, but if they apply what we're gonna show in this course, like it's totally gonna change your life. This is exactly what I've been going through and developed in so many years of like self-inquiry and self-journey. And it's a mix of neuroscience, quantum physics, energy work, coaching. So there is I have on my Instagram account, you'll find some inspiration. There's a live in which you talk about that, but I'll be sharing more. And then there's a link to my website where everything is detailed. So you see exactly what we're going to talk about, which day, and it's a huge program. Like I'm so proud and excited of this. And I've been just doing one-to-one, like following, but I decided to stop. I just keep maybe 2 one-to-one a year and focus fully on the online program. And yeah, so I'm very excited for that.
Ooh, I just got really excited because I hear strategy. Like, I'm like, use the strategy, people. Like, use the strategy for a business. It's like 2 one-on-ones a year, and your aligned program and growing this, like, because it really sounds like such a treat for people to transform their whole life from the inside out. Like this, I feel it,
It's completely that. Yeah, it's really like diving super deep within, with a lot of like somatic work, meditation, and literally everything that is going to allow you to enter your inner world and change and shift any belief that is not yet allowing you to have the business of your dream or the relationship of your dream. So even the relationship with yourself, it completely changes your life, because what you're changing is your your brain, your software. So it's super, super detailed. That's why it's for moms and it's really in depth.
Oh, goodness, I can't wait to hear how many lovely people join this program. Keep us in tune. I'm going to leave the link to your website after this live. So
I'll share
anybody
with
who's
you.
resonating can get it in the comments, get it in the description. And I'm sure you can reach out and message her.
Yes,
She's tagged.
for sure.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Emanuela, for being here, for having this conversation, for doing the deep work. Such a beautiful interview. And I'll talk to you so soon.
Yeah, thank you for holding the space and for this beautiful interview. And it's so nice seeing you. I'm so happy. So yes, thank you.
Right.
Thank
Talk
you, everyone.
soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.